Hello, good evening, grand evening. How's everyone feeling today? Um, First thing I want to say, happy birthday, Libra. I want to do your reading first out of everyone else's reading, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do the reading for the collective for the month, just so we kind of know what to get into. The way that I read is kind of different. Everybody has their little niches in the way that they like to read, but the way that I like to read is completely different from a lot of ways that people read. One of the things that I do is when I read, I incorporate everything that I know into my reading. So there's always extra knowledge to get. Anything that I learn that I teach and I think is of value, I will talk about. Also, I talk about God. I don't say spirit. I don't say, I might call him like the creator or whatever, but I do say God's name just so that, we're all clear here what spirit exactly I'm talking about. I feel like, it's okay for some people to be vague, but I feel like so many people, they don't want to hear God's name, and people don't want to speak of Jesus because they don't want to offend anyone and they don't want to offend anyone's beliefs. But it's really the same thing as just telling someone, like, if you don't resonate with the message that I'm giving, just don't. I mean, please don't count me out because I use Jesus's name or I use God's name. But I just need my message to be a little bit more specific as far as the people that I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and grab 6 cards. The reason that I'm choosing 6 is because the number 6, when we see that number, that's just a reminder that we need to spend time with the higher part of us. Inside of all of us, there is a 3-year-old. The highest part of us is 3-year-old, and I still haven't got a chance to do the video, but I'm going to do the video. Just a little bit hard finding time with the children to do the video. Maybe I'll do it after this collective reading. There's a 3-year-old child inside of all of us. Our higher self, the part of us that's connected to God, is actually 3 years old. So the 6 is a reminder. There's only one way to get where we're going. One way. That is to have the wisdom of an adult, but the childlike essence. The only way to have the childlike essence is to have the heart of a child. Having the heart of a child entails being forgiving. It entails, having a 3-year-old spirit. For instance, if someone stinks and I'm 3 years old, I'm going to think that they stink. I'm going to tell them they stink, and I'm probably going to cover my nose. But that's just going to be me because I'm 3. I'm the realest me. I'm the real G. I'm the inner God of, myself. I'm the true self. So that is why 3-year-olds are the true self. That's why they're the higher self, because everything that they think, down to what they say, down to what they do, lines up. More about that later. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be doing 6 cards for the collective. Not to mention, I've really had a tugging to read. I haven't read a lot lately, and it's just honestly something that I really love reading. I really love interpreting and using my intuitive skills. This month, I'm going to be doing hour readings for $66, and I'm going to be doing minis, 30 minutes for $33. So if that is something that you're interested in wanting to do, you can go ahead and just message me, because that's probably the easiest way to contact me right now. I don't have a booking service. We'll see if I actually end up needing a booking service. So my DMs is how you would hit me up. I accept pay through PayPal, Cash App, and what is the other one? PayPal, Cash App, and it's the other one. I have to think of the other one later, but those are the ways that I accept, and I will go ahead and leave my Cash App things. If anyone resonates with this message, you can go ahead and like, share, or you can go ahead and leave a tip to my Cash App, $ Ashley Indigo, and you'll see a picture of me in there. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna do 3 and 3. That'll equal our 6. So this is the Light Seers Tarot. I'm more of an oracle card reader, but if there's anything to be read, I can read it. I'll interpret it the best way I can. I don't have the best knowledge of tarot, but when it comes to oracle, I do. My next deck I'm going to use is the energy oracle cards. Everything is energy, so I feel like this is just such a valid card because everything is energy. I'll go ahead and give everyone a little preview of everything that I'm pulling out for y'all. That one, this one, and ooh, this one just slipped over on its own. So we're going to be reading numbers, imagery, and symbolism. All right, so for the collective, we have Knight of Wands. So it looks like someone having a good time beating to the drum of their soul. Wands has to do with fire. So that's a fire sign. So that's going to be like Sagittarius, Leo, and Capricorn, I believe. The stubborn signs. So I see this sign upside down. The Knight of Wands is someone who normally, I mean, the signs that I just named, they could be susceptible to that. But to the Knight of Wands, this is someone who, when we think fire, we think action. We think someone who moves through things. And on this card, it looks like someone's having a good time. We might be finding ourselves having too much of a good time. Too much of a good time. When I say too much of a good time, I mean, we're talking about people who normally are steadfast, people who normally charge into things, not doing that. They might be drinking a little bit too much. They might be partying a little bit too much. They might be partaking in party favors a little bit too much. Someone is literally, it's almost like burning the candle at both ends. Doing things I would almost maybe say you have no business doing. It's okay to funny, it's okay to celebrate, but what are you celebrating? There are some people who are just kind of celebrating and using celebration as a cloak to cover up what they're feeling inside. See lots of orange. People trying to cover up emotions. Trying to cover up feelings they don't want to feel, so they just party it away. They're carefree. They don't think about it. The only thing about it, though, is once, the lights go out and the fire is no more burning bright, you still feel that. You still very much feel that. So if there are some people out there feeling as if, they're just going to act carefree and they're just going to ignore things, my message to you would be to wake up. Wake up. It's not okay to try to avoid things by not being plugged into reality. And I also get like Pisces energy off that too, because Pisces, they don't really like to be in reality, but their reality is warped anyway, because that sign, Pisces are all about fantasy, and they're all about being off in their own world and off in their own mind, and they actually have the ability to bring whatever's up here. I mean, we all do, but they're really tapped in. They have the ability to bring what's out there in here. So it's time to wake up, and it's time to look at things honestly. It's time to start doing some healing. I feel like some people are avoiding some healing, and I know a lot of people's lives seems like it's collapsing. One thing that I'll tell you is, with God, you never really take any losses. It's always W's. It's always wins every single time. So all my believers, you have to know that there's probably something bigger coming up. When everything burns down, when everything seems to burn down to the ground and we hit our rock bottom, and usually that's where partying and avoiding our life can take us, rock bottom. The beautiful thing about that is once things are burnt down, you have something to work from. You have something to build off of. So that's what I would... that's what I would focus on. If it feels like life is kind of just like burning down and everything around you is kind of just disappearing and changing, you need to ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And act accordingly. There's not really any time to sulk. And I think a lot of us inside feel like we're at a point, we're past sulking. Like, we've done that before. It's not going to work. Let me figure it out. Let me fix it. I think a lot of us are there, and that's what the collective thing is. I think a lot of people are just tired. So I see new beginnings, things being burnt down to the ground so that they can be rebuilt for this month of October. I was going to say this month of Libra, this month of October. Okay, Page of Swords. So swords, that's an air sign. Those are intellectual. So that's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Okay, so I see someone in a book, reading books, getting ideas, feeling free. Okay. This month, we're having to think outside of the box. There's been some crazy, crazy things going on here in the world. There's been some people researching, lots of people Googling, looking things up, finding things out. That's where we are as a collective. Starting to question everything. Starting to, and that's good. That's good. The only thing about that is it may make some people feel like their world has been turned upside down. I think we can all agree that 2021 has been like some massive ass movie. So, that's definitely what I see. Some people's worlds being turned upside down. Learning lots of crazy information, learning, thinking things to be true that they never been true. And then I feel like this might be causing some problems as far as like communications with family, because stores, air signs, they're all about communication. They're all about talking. They're all about, thinking and being intellectuals and having a mind of their own. But I think even the people that have a mind of their own and the people that were so set in their ways, I think that they're now being more open to some of the craziness that's going on and some of the ideas and theories that are going on in the world. The only thing that I can tell people is stay prayed up, let go and let God, trust God. It seems like it's hard to talk to people right now, which I know Jupiter is in retrograde, or not Jupiter in retrograde, Mercury is in retrograde. Well, shit, Jupiter might be too. But Mercury, whenever Mercury goes in retrograde, technology breaks, phones get cracked, things will go crazy with communication, exes resurface and they want to talk about things. You know, you might find yourself in a situation that you might have been in the past, and you might find yourself just being tested by God to see if you've learned your lessons. The way that God works is that our relationship with him is totally set up based off of obedience. He is the Father. It's not, I want to take the time to explain something real quick. It's not about him being better than us. And it's not about me thinking that he's better than me or that he's better than you. That's not the dynamic of the relationship that we should have with him. He is the Father. He is the creator. He created everything. And so because of that, I feel special that in his quest to create, he took the time out of his busy ass schedule to create me. And I don't feel threatened by that. I feel amazed by that. I feel special. I feel loved. I feel appreciated. And the way that I feel about him and knowing all that he's capable of, it does not in one way take away. And maybe this is because I don't have a jealous spirit at all. And that was Satan's problem with, that was Lucifer's problem with God. He was jealous and I am not. So I don't see him as